financial consulting.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Coach Mo Live, and I'm here with a wonderful client, Robin Hanover. Welcome to the Motivational Monday platform and stage. And here you are.
Yes, thanks, Mo, so much. So happy to be here with you on a Monday, day after Mother's Day. I'm a fur mom, so.
All right.
Yes.
Obviously, there's many versions of motherhood in this world. I'm a stepmother, and I was a fur mom. We won't go there.
Okay. Yay, break your heart, you know? Oh my gosh, love them.
I know. It's such a great thing while it's going. So we're here talking about Robin Hanover's Bring Your Soul to Work journey, and the lessons that were going on before we met.
Yep.
The lessons that happened when we began working together. And you've also made quite a few strides since graduating from our kickass workshop. And I was delighted when you reached out to me and said, Mo, I want to tell my story. And I absolutely love that you were like bursting with energy to share the trajectory. And you had a trajectory that is like a lot of women out there. Okay. A lot of women out there can relate to your story, and they will hear it, and we will talk about it in a second. I'm eager to dive in there. Ladies, if you don't know the work I do, you're going to hear about it today with my conversation here with Robin Hanover, who is now a fabulously independent financial manager and consultant and coach to men and women on financial matters. And she wasn't always that. So we're going to talk about that. But I am Coach Mo Fall, and I help women transform their lives by helping them bring their soul to work and land their dream job. And all the while we're doing all that magic, the soul and the life is transforming and changing through that beautiful, beautiful journey. And ladies, if you're here with questions, we'd love to take some questions and see what you have to say. We would also get my little wire moved around here. We would also love for clients to say hello. And if you were in the workshop when Robin was, please do a little shout out to her. Robin, let's start out with a little bit of a 411, what you're doing now, and then just kind of remind the gals here when we started working together. And then we're going to go backwards, and then we're going to go forwards a little bit. So welcome again, and just a little introduction to what you're currently doing, and brag on yourself just a wee bit, would you?
I will, actually. So thank you. Yeah. So I've been in the actual financial industry since 1987. So, and through that, and we'll kind of touch a little bit on that, but really through the work that I did through you and through the work that I did on my own personal journey and with another coach that, complemented what you were doing. I realized that my soul needed to be fed, and I need to be serving on a higher level. And that higher level allowed me to create this financial consulting practice where I help W-2 peeps wanting to leave their job and trying to figure out, okay, what's next? They've discovered what their soul purpose is, hopefully through the work that they're doing through you and or themselves. And they don't know how to get from point A to point B. So that I work with that client as well as those who actually started their own business and they're stuck and they don't know why. And they're doing all of the things that they know they should be doing, but they're not, their bank accounts it's not showing profit or abundance. So I help, kind of take a look at that. And then I also work with couples, and couples are I really enjoy it. And we all come to relationships, partnerships with two mindsets about money. And, they don't really teach about money in school. And hopefully that will change, and I'm a Gen Xer. I think you're a Gen Xer. So it's interesting how things have actually stayed the same. But I think with couples, when they come to a relationship, they don't realize that it can cause some conflict.
Mhm.
And I kind of help them kind of see some of those things before they either end up in divorce court or before they actually say I do. And I think
Uh,
that's the most important piece, is to kind of create that foundation.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, the two most powerful energies that we deal with and maneuver around as human beings are love and money.
Yep.
And one is the transaction of taking care, love,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
other is the transaction of being able to provide.
Right.
So it's almost like one is the yin and one is the yang, one's masculine and feminine energy. Being in the financial services industry for 30-ish plus years, uh,
Yeah.
you have been navigating a male dominated industry. So many of the women who we work with, as you know, because you were working with us for 12 weeks, so many of the women we work with, I mean, let's just face it, almost any woman in any industry is a male dominated industry.
Right.
You know, I was in healthcare for almost 40 years. And even though nurses are the predominant profession in healthcare, which is predominantly female,
Mhm.
it's run. I will tell you, one of my last C-suite meetings as a healthcare executive was with like 8 women and 1 guy.
Right.
But in that almost 40-year trajectory, I was the only woman at the table for so many years. You are in a vastly male dominated industry, vastly male dominated professional arc. Uh,
Mhm.
where were you before we met, career wise? What was going on and what was your story?
Yeah. So, I'm actually originally from California. So I think we're right before, and then I'm in Florida, right across the street,
Yeah.
technically across the coast from you. I'm on the,
Right.
yeah, I'm in Naples area.
Yeah.
So I think what happened, and I moved out here to be closer to my mom, who is 85 and lives in South Carolina. So I
Mhm.
needed to be closer, and not being so far away in California. But at that point where you and I had met, going through that transition, I was able to keep my clients, in that traditional wealth management,
Mhm.
uh, practice. And I've always kind of had my independent soul part of me, meaning, I've always been a soulpreneur. I just
Mhm.
couldn't find in this male dominated field. I was almost kind of feeling like what is it? Round hole, square peg kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we get you
something
on
like
that.
that.
Yep,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
So, because it's like, as females or having that feminine energy, when you're in this male dominating space, you are trying to kind of create these questions of getting deeper into what money means to people.
Mhm.
And it wasn't resonating with, of course, a lot of my traditional male,
Right.
counterparts, and they were questioning what I was doing. And I think when you're kind of in that box and told that this is the only thing and the only way that it should be done, I started
Right.
questioning that. I really started questioning that.
Uh-huh.
And so I think where you and I met, I was just having some pain points of like, can I actually bring my soul to work? Can
Right.
I bring my soul to
Yes.
this field? Can
Yes.
I bring my soul and create this momentum and a movement in the industry that is so needed, especially just it continues. And, I miss the diversity that I had in California, and moving here to Florida, it was very, white and very male and very 60 plus. And here you are. And it was like almost taking a step back.
Mhm.
And so I kind of rocked the boat a little bit, and I'm okay with that.
Well, not everyone was okay with it, as I
No. Yes.
and as women are aware of how other people are responding to them, it's how we're built. Estrogen does that to our brain. It's how we're socialized. It's how we're taught to be good girls, is to pay
Mhm.
attention to other people's needs first.
Mhm.
and to always be flexing who we are, who we need to be for others.
Right.
You're no different, okay?
Right.
Classic female being raised by human beings. It's what the tribe expects women to be and do. Um, that wasn't really feeling true to you anymore. It wasn't really feeling right. Not that you didn't want to take care of people, you wanted to, but in a different way.
Right.
The the power of status quo or the power of the work environment was causing a little strife
Mhm.
when we first met up and you saw my ad and you saw my stuff and you're like, that's what I got to do. Talk about
Right.
what that exact pain point was for you that said, I'm booking this clarity call. I got to figure and sort some stuff out. What was really that tipping point for you, Robin?
Well, I think for me, it was I've been told multiple times in my career working with others and by men and also some by some women as
Sure.
well
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you're intimidating. You're intimidating to work with.
Hmm.
Stay small, just kind of play nice in the sandbox kind of
Right.
a, thought. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, all right, I'm hearing it. I'm taking that in and thinking maybe there's some things that I need to get some coaching on, some things that I actually need to take a look at that I may be
Uh,
causing that I wasn't sure about, that may be causing my unhappiness in my work and how I'm showing up. So I think that was really and trying to figure out, okay, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again,
right. Right.
so
Yeah.
I really needed your help in this corporate environment because I was managing director at the time
Yeah.
when I moved here to Naples. And that was a very big position.
Yeah.
Um, and I needed some help to kind of navigate through these waters of like, all right, is it me? Is it the industry? Is it who I'm working with? And I think really diving deep in the work that, I did with you was to really take a look at, okay, there are some things that I needed to take a look at. There's some things that, I needed to change. And I realized I was staying in my masculine energy to kind of really be that people pleasing. And
Uh-huh.
it was not resonating. And so I was having this internal conflict
Uh-huh.
between my male energy and my female energy. And it was like, I didn't even know it until we did that work, and I was like, "Holy crap, this is really true."
And I bet while you were like doing one of these, is it me or is it them?
Yes,
Or who am I and who have I
yes,
had to have turned myself into
right,
in order to not just even succeed, but to not be intimidating, to be
right.
who they expect me to be. It happens gradually, doesn't it? The
It
eroding
does.
of who we truly are.
Mhm. Yeah,
Was,
yeah.
was, was there something that you were feeling or some, real tipping point that you had when you realized I can't keep doing this way?
Yeah. I think we all have that feeling of dread, Sunday
Mm,
nights sometimes when you got to get up and Monday and go to that. And I think it was just this feeling of walking on eggshells all the time.
yeah.
And, I'm a pretty confident person. But when you get kind of knocked down and someone's like, okay, am I being knocked down on purpose?
Uh,
Because, you bring to the table so much knowledge. You've spent
right.
your entire life in education or, learning and, evolving in your craft. And then when you're told to kind of stay small, that just doesn't work anymore. And I think
Yeah.
that's really where it was, is that I wasn't able to show up fully who I was.
Yes.
And I was really questioning, why am I here? What am I doing? And um, I think it just kind of came to a head. And I think between that, moving cross country,
Yes.
and the stress of that,
Yeah.
starting a new place, and I think the combination of everything
Yeah.
just really took its toll. And then I was starting to have some chronic illness. and just some chronic fatigue. I was
Yep.
starting to just not feel well
Yeah.
physically, and it
Yeah.
started to really manifest. And I knew that there was something more that I should be doing, and I
Yeah.
couldn't put my finger on it. I
Yes.
knew there was a deeper reason why I left California, and it wasn't about my mom. It
Right.
was about a bigger way of showing up in the world.
Right.
And that's really, I think it was a combination of everything, you know?
Isn't that just true? The inner sense of dis-ease
Yes.
is somewhat normalized over time, but then at some point it starts
Yeah.
affecting your body, it starts affecting your energy level. And so many of the, literally thousands of women we've spoken to on our clarity calls, it begins to affect all of their relationships
Mhm.
because now I'm feeling crappy, dis-eased,
Mhm.
and I don't have me
Right.
anymore to navigate my life. And I'm trying to pull up whatever energy I can muster. And it gets exhausting,
Yep.
being depleted, the body starting to talk to us in the language that the body only knows. And that is through literally diseasing itself. So that it's like,
Right.
hey, 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 there's something going on here. You must pay
Yes.
attention. And it's just
Yes.
like, oh, everyone my age starts to feel this way. Oh, the doctor says take these pills. Oh, this is just what happens.
Right.
I did move across country and
Right.
I am now, trying to take care of my aging mom. And this is just how you feel in life. This is
Right.
what it's all about. And I guess I'm just going to have to muster under for the next 15 or 20 years. And this is just what it is. And this is how people age. And all of these normalizing routines that we beautiful human beings know how to do. We got started on a clarity call, which is how I start my relationship or our relationship, I say, because of my wonderful team, with every woman we work with, because we really want to help you
Mhm.
understand what's really going on and understand also the impact that's happening because the human brain normalizes stuff
Yeah.
and makes stories about it to rationalize it, to have it be okay.
Yeah.
And so our pain becomes tolerable, normal. We have a conversation with a friend about what's going on. They're like, me too. Oh, then it's okay. Oh, you talk to this person, me too. You might talk to a
Right.
parent. Yep, honey, that's just what's going to be. And so we have people around us that are agreeing with our pain. And then here's the thing, Robin, and because you've been through awesome coaching, um, we hear what we want to hear.
Right.
So even if someone said, "Hey, Robin, you need to get out of there," it may have been one person and there's 20 that are saying, "That's just what happens in life, honey."
Yes. Suck it up. Suck it up.
Buttercup.
Yeah,
And
buck up.
I'll just have like chronic diseases and
Yes.
take some pain
Mhm.
meds and whatever else. And so here you are saying, "Nope, my soul is kind of talking to me a little bit more, saying, pay attention, Robin. There's something
Mhm.
more, there's something
Yeah.
better." And we
Yeah.
get started with our work. What were some of the first things that you started having aha moments on, if you can recall some of that?
Yeah, I think, when we were doing the coaching, the couple ahas, I think the first important thing was that I realized I wasn't alone, that I
Yeah.
realized that other women were going through, and men, that were going through the same thing. Is like, okay, so I felt relieved in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. I felt
Mhm.
relieved. Yet I also knew that I didn't want to just stay and be like, yep, I know. Yes, you too.
Right.
Let's figure out a process to get
Yeah.
rid of this. And
Yes.
let's figure out a process to get above this because I
Yeah.
was not okay with the status quo. So I think that was really the first one, is that
Mhm.
feeling, validated that, okay, there's something else going on.
Yeah.
Then also too, I think really paying attention to the illness when you're laying on your back and you can't physically get out of bed, it kind of draws your attention a little bit. And you can't really
I
like there's
know.
not yeah,
Right.
there's
Yeah.
nothing really wrong,
Yeah.
but you feel like crap.
Right.
And, I'm going to be 55 next week. So it's kind of like, yeah, thank you. It's kind of like, okay, well, so it's part of the whole hormonal crap and everything. But I was, again, refusing to do that. So I think it was more like, I need to take 100% responsibility for anything and everything that I could do to make a change.
Yeah.
And that was me. And I think that's really where I had a come to Jesus moment, so to speak, with myself and
Yes.
be like, okay, Rob, you need to do whatever it takes because
Yeah.
you're the only person that you can change.
Yeah.
You can't change your boss. You can't change how people are going to respond to you. You
Right.
can only change what's in your thoughts and
Yeah.
how you respond.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the work that I really started diving into, was like, all right, let's figure this out. And it was really the work on me.
Yeah.
And really what it came down to, I realized, and I never thought this was one of my issues, I had a scarcity issue. And the scarcity issue was this fear of like, oh, if I give this up, I don't have this, this incoming paycheck or all of that. And the
Yeah.
scarcity was blocking the abundance that the universe was trying to give to me. That's really, and all that was is just pure fear.
Yes.
And I realized that everything I wanted was on the other side of that fear. So true.
Oh,
I just had, yeah.
yeah, sorry. One of the things that drove me nuts in my spiritual journey um, early on, before I had a couple of wake up moments, was a statement that Wayne Dyer used to say all the time. And he got it from, I think, the Tao, which is like this very ancient spiritual text that some people might be somewhat familiar with. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change.
Yep.
And I used to be like, is that a puzzle? Is that a riddle? Is
Yep.
that true? And then I would
Right.
get really upset at all the people who wrote these fancy books on spiritual development, go, you have no idea what
Yep.
it's like to work in corporate America, Wayne Dyer.
Yes.
Okay. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't want your fancy statements.
Right.
The truth is, knowing what we know now, and ladies, if you're listening to Robin and I have this conversation, please shout us a comment here. If you're watching this live, we'd love to hear from you. And if you're thinking, I got to get this show on the road for myself, it's mofall.com/live clarity. It's how we get everything started in the work I do, because
Yeah.
I want to know you, understand your problem personally. Here's the thing. You finally realize at some point, if you're taking your spiritual journey seriously,
Mm-hmm.
that your life's experience is all a reflection of how you're deeply feeling about yourself
Right.
and the thoughts that keep repetitively making that feeling alive. And Robin, what you just mentioned is not usually an accessible feeling for most people because they've got layers of
Right.
shitty stories on top of it.
Right.
And some of them are those bosses, those guys there, those people there. You don't know me, so I'm not intimidating. You're wrong. I'm right. And we get into our ego
Right.
and it
Yep.
covers up the true situation. Who would have
Mm-hmm.
ever guessed that someone in the financial sector helping people manage their wealth and their financial situations is stalling out her own progress on this deep fear of scarcity?
Right.
It's not logical.
Right.
It's not even logical. So getting to that gold takes a
Mhm.
little bit of mining, doesn't it? A little bit of tapping on the hammer and peeling away the dirt.
Yeah. And I think, it's funny because any work that you do on yourself, sometimes it's not necessarily, all hunky dory. And honestly, Mo, I think really what it was is like, sorry if I swear, but it was like a holy shit moment of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my God, I have more power than what I realized.
You had
And
the
I was,
power all along, says the good witch in The Wizard of
I know.
Oz, right? I love that.
Definitely. It was like that
Yeah,
Wizard of Oz moment where
yes,
Glenda says that to her. And I
yes.
really had this like, oh my gosh, I was in my own way, and I can catch myself now, because we tend to go, our brain wants to be in
Yeah,
that comfort place.
right.
But I found myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was actually allowing all of this for me to stay stuck. And it was all based on that fear. And it was all based on the thoughts and beliefs that I
Yeah.
thought were true, but
Yeah.
I had to challenge.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's, and I think I'm going to touch on what you said about the books that make it really complicated. I think there's a lot of stuff out there for those who are self-development junkies, and I am one.
Yep.
You're like trying to find that nugget.
Yeah.
And really the simple thing is that if you change your thought about any circumstance, you actually have the power to control the rest of your life. You really do.
Amen.
You
Amen.
really do.
It's unbelievable how much power we have.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and everything out there is telling us the opposite.
Yes.
And that's sort of how it's put together. Our divine creator sort of figured this whole thing out for us, keeping the world spinning, keeping the planets and the sun rising, all of that going on because there's some beautiful force, a magnificent, benevolent force that is also pointing us in the direction of our dreams through little tiny nudges that we aren't listening to. And instead,
Yep.
we're going to blame those people out there who aren't letting us, who aren't this, who aren't that. Meanwhile, our voice is suppressed, our power is suppressed, we're
Yep.
afraid, we're in scarcity mode. All the women who I've had the privilege and pleasure of coaching have something very common to what you're talking about, Robin. And that is, after a while, we believe the myths.
Yes.
And we don't have a way to like break through the handcuffs and the the self-made prison because we don't understand it.
Right. Right.
And you finally got the key, reached
Yep.
outside the prison gate, unlocked from the outside the key that you had in your hand all the time,
Right.
opened the door, and what did you find out about yourself when you released the prison?
I found out that I actually have an amazing intuitive self, and that it was really, I had some beliefs that were holding me back.
Mhm.
And one of them was a really big one for me, was you have to work hard to succeed.
Ah, I can't possibly work harder than this. How will I
Yes.
possibly move ahead?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I would, I've been working since I was 12, babysitting, whatever. This is what we did.
Right.
So you're taught you have to work hard and success is XYZ. Well, I don't have, why does work have to be hard? Why can't it be fun?
Right.
Why can't it be, you know what
Exactly.
I mean? So that was a big one.
Uh-huh.
And the other big one is that being visible. Being
Yes.
visible is huge for me,
And as it
right?
is for so many women, we are manufactured into the woodwork over our
Yes.
lifetime, aren't we? It's like, "Hey,
Yes.
Robin, that's nice. Go over there and could you please do that extra work and those extra
Yeah.
reports for us?"
Right.
And you're like, "Cool, that's what I do to get ahead."
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so now you're realizing that you must be visible in order to have what you want.
Right.
What happens next in this unfolding caper, Robin Hanover?
Well, and the more visible that I became, that was when I started getting this backlash of, you're too intimidating, or don't speak up, and from other women of like, just stay over here. And I realized the powerful thing was that is their thoughts. Those are their things that they're thinking of, that had nothing to do with me. And I can't control how they're going to respond. Yet I was not going to just stay back and not speak my truth to people please somebody else.
You begin to
And
break the barriers, break
yes,
the contract with all the people who
yes,
knew you. Robin's gonna be nice, and she's gonna do the good work for us, and she's
yep,
gonna sit in the background, and then all of a sudden you start showing up
you start showing
differently.
up.
You
Yeah,
start being more visible. You start basically claiming your selfhood,
yep.
and then everyone goes, "Who are you? What? What?
What is she doing?
What?"
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How did you handle that beautiful, magnificent shift?
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. So It was funny because I knew it was a moment. It was just one moment. I was in a meeting, and I think it was actually another female who, kind of gave me that signal in the meeting of like that eye, and just kind of like went like this. And that moment, I just took a breath. I didn't speak. And I knew in my soul it would be riskier to stay than it would be to leave. And that was a Thursday. And this was just this past October, October 2020. Of course, we've gone through COVID. We were all on, virtual meetings and all of that.
Right.
And that was really what came to me. That's what the universe just said. It's time. It's time to go. And
Yeah.
here's the crazy part. The next day was a Friday. So I don't know the exact date, but I think it was like October 15th. I gave my notice that morning. And of course, when you're in financial services, you just get it and you're out. You're like locked out. See
Right.
ya. And then they usually walk you out, but since we're all
Yeah.
working from home, they just shut my computer down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I knew this was happening. I just didn't know that was going to happen so soon. I was
Mm.
like, oh, I'll wait till like maybe January 2021, something
A
like
nice
that.
convenient date, some date
Yeah.
that seems to like make sense.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
get everything set up. Let me get my
Right.
business going on the side,
Oh,
all
yeah.
of that. So it's all
Right.
perfect.
Right.
Nope. It was this overwhelming screaming of intuition as I'm sitting there, like, that sucker punch when you get like
Oh, yeah.
someone, oh
Oh,
yeah.
it's like the evil eye finally hits home, right?
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. I've felt it so many times. As you were describing the look,
The
I
look.
felt it in my gut. And I think
Yes.
women who have experienced that probably upon hearing you say that we're feeling the same way. You know what
You
the truth
know,
is,
you just know,
and you
and you're
can't ignore it
done.
any longer.
No. And so the next day, so here's how the beautiful universe works. The next morning, I give my notice, written notice. That afternoon, Mo, I got a new client. She called me out of the blue. Her husband and she were having, problems with their marriage. They've been married for a long time. And they realized through the therapy they were doing that it was financial focused.
Uh-huh.
So they booked a whole 90 days, 3 month session with me, and new client call out of the blue as soon
Uh-huh.
as I gave my notice. And I
Mhm.
literally looked up and I said, thank you, universe. And it
Absolutely.
was just like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go, buckle up. And
Yeah.
I had nothing set up. I knew what I had been, because I've been doing it all along. It was just nothing formal.
Mhm.
No website, no nothing. So it kind of speaks to that truth of like when you get the call, you just got to answer, and that everything doesn't have to be completed. You don't have to have all
Yes.
your ducks in a row before you can start serving on a bigger and deeper level.
Amen. And the term I'm using with all of our clients across all of our uh, programs right now is take the meeting.
Yes.
Take
Yes.
the meeting.
Yes.
And so responding to opportunity means that you have to have opened yourself up to the worthiness of having opportunity come your way, which
Yeah.
means you can't be blocked. And I'm going to tell you this. You and I both know that had you not put in your notice, that beautiful universal channel that you opened up wouldn't have beckoned forth that couple to reach out. I mean,
Exactly.
and if you're listening to this, whether it's live or in a podcast format, please know that your intellect cannot outthink the beauty of the universe. So if you can look now back and say, oh, yeah, that dot, you can connect the dots afterwards. You can
Mhm.
never connect the dots going forward. And that is
Right.
why this whole journey as a human being has to be imbued with one thing that most people don't really even understand, and that's called faith.
Yes. So
Most people,
true.
a lot of people talk about it. Oh, I got faith. You do? Hmm. In yourself or in this bigger universal principle? We could call it God, divine, infinite
Yes.
intelligence, universe, source, whatever the energy is that we want to talk about that's holding up this planet and making things happen, digesting our food when we don't even think about it, beating our heart and healing tissues of all the people in all the hospitals. Okay. That universal principle you
Yeah.
will never figure out. But
Yeah.
what you have to do is suspend your tiny little brain, your tiny little ego, your tiny little stories and go, I'm going to respond. I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
I'm going to take action of the things I can control.
Yes.
And I'm going to move myself toward my greatness.
Right.
And you did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this, was it?
No.
How do you make a snap decision like that? You've been preparing for years, okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
laying the groundwork, and you certainly were practicing bringing not only your soul to life, but when we bring our soul to life, and this is exactly what caused you to respond the way you did, Robin, you're bringing your soul's vibration up. You're actually tuning in your tuner system
Yeah.
into how you're able to receive the messages from the universe. So you're being more in tune with your brilliant guidance system.
Yeah.
And so you make the move, they toss you out. You get this brilliant call that was divinely inspired and orchestrated, and you would have never been able to say, well, if I quit Friday, will you call me on Monday of
Right.
last month of this week? Yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. No, you got to like jump.
Yep. You got to jump.
Cliff, parachute's going to open because I know my Lord, my spirit, my God, my universe, my source is going to open that parachute when I jump. I don't know what's going to look like, but between that source and me, we got this.
Right.
And then
Right.
you began to construct a beautiful livelihood for yourself.
Yeah. When here's the crazy part. I mean, like so that was really the mid October, just this past October.
Uh-huh.
And by the end of November, and of course, I don't do any social media. I mean, again, it's like a whole nother world to me, as a Gen Xer. But it was really the floodgates opened. And by the end of the month of November, I had quadrupled my salary that I was making. Quadrupled.
Wait, now, not everyone listening to this is a financial person.
Yes.
So when you say quadruple, that's actually times 4.
Correct.
Can I hear a shout out of an oh yeah?
Yeah. And
Right?
and honestly, all that I did is, because I've kind of grown my clients just organically, really just word of mouth and just kind of reaching out and saying, hey, I'm here. How can I help you? What do you need? All of that.
Right.
And I think just being open to that, but it was really just, reaching out to a couple people and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Adding a little bit more of the coaching piece to my traditional.
Right.
And all of a sudden I had 4 clients, and a lot of this age group was that I was really working was like anywhere from my 30 to my mid 50s.
Okay.
So it was really just the individuals. I had 4 other couples who were ready to sign divorce papers.
Oof.
And they came to me, and by the time we were done with our 3-month session, they had a family mission statement. They were, communicating.
Yeah.
We dove deep in some of their internal beliefs and how to come together as a couple.
Yeah.
So those were the most beautiful clients I had from the couple standpoint that I'm able to help. And then I actually had 2 individuals who were really ready to take that next leap from their W-2 jobs and had just that fear.
Yeah.
And so we kind of worked through a lot of that mindset work, and they each were able to create, and they're on their way to 6-figure businesses as a result.
Robin, okay, you and I both know something, okay, and I have to share it with a whole lot of pride and happiness for you. You don't get to do that work with these clients if you haven't done it yourself.
That's right.
You don't get to save someone's marriage, financial future, lift them up if
Yes.
you're struggling in scarcity and fear, because that's the only thing
Yeah.
you're going to bring into your world. When you're in scarcity and fear, that's all you're going to get.
Exactly.
More scarcity, more fear.
Yeah.
People who are pissed off at you, people who are complaining about your services or your fees, and you're going to feel bad and you're not going to want to keep doing it. So you might put a toe in and go, oh crap, you did the work. You did the
Mhm.
internal upgrade on your system.
Yep.
And then you're able to make a powerful move in your own highest best interest self when you finally got that final little graduation punch.
Yep.
Okay, I'm ready to graduate. I don't need to be in everyone else's stories and drama. I'm
Yes.
I'm leaving this nest of security. It wasn't security, was it?
No.
It was fear.
Yes.
How easy we wrap fear into security.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm going to make a shout out, Robin, to all the women who have said to us, I can't afford your workshop.
Yes.
Because here's what I got to say to those lovely, lovely women who are not quite ready to understand their value. There is not a single woman who has invested in the workshop and done the work who has ever had a problem with their investment.
That's right.
And as a matter of fact, your example of quadrupling your income and being able to serve at a whole higher level, not only that, but Robin, what you're telling me, you're now in your genius zone. You've
Yep.
never been able to be allowed to be put into your genius zone over there because it
That's right.
didn't exist. Now
That's right.
you're up leveled, you've upgraded your operating system. So now you can handle next level. Of course, you're going to be opening to higher levels of abundance because that's the universal principle. If
Yep.
you're listening to me for the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth time, or the 100th time, and we haven't worked together, I want to make one thing abundantly clear that Robin is telling us right now. When you decide that
Mhm.
you are worth the upgrade,
Yes.
your entire life will change. And the universal principle that dictates this isn't my principle. It's not my law. It's not
Right.
Rose's law of how the universe works. It is the law. When you upgrade yourself, you will make more money. You will have more joy. You will appreciate your parents who are aging. You will have better love relationships. Everything gets
Yep.
better.
Yep.
I'm
And you
not
can't put a price tag on that. I
You
know.
cannot put a price
Yes.
tag on it. And I love what Sydney is saying. Shout from the top of my lungs, sit down and shut up. You naysayers, take that.
That's
Sydney,
right.
Sydney just graduated from our workshop, and she said to me, Sydney, God
Yay.
bless you, and I love you. Um, the day I pushed that button to book that call
Yes. Yes.
was the most magical day ever because I finally believed in myself enough to take a risk at meeting
Yes.
some stranger on a clarity call. And now this beautiful woman is understanding her worth, is understanding what she's capable of, is able to say it, articulate it, sell herself on interviews,
Yes.
all right, and be who she knows is her divine sense of purpose. Robin, those clients needed you, didn't
Yes.
they?
Mhm.
And you answered your divine calling and you took a freaking leap. And hello to Dorothy Van Fleet. You would love these ladies, Robin, and you will get to meet them in the grad group
Yes.
when they come on over. Sydney, I think, just got there last week or the week before. So we are loving on you taking a risk.
Mhm.
We are loving on you appreciating that you were ready to understand the return
Yep.
on
Investment.
investment of that risk.
100%.
You're in the industry of helping other people manage and navigate their financial waters, which
Yep.
are never very calm, are they?
No.
People get money wrong all the time.
And that's the beauty, it's really interesting. And of course, we can talk about debt, but money in itself is a neutral thing, meaning
Yeah.
it flows, it comes, it goes. And we put so much meaning
Oh,
toward money, and it doesn't really need to be there. And that's kind of what I teach with my clients is like,
yes.
how are you viewing money and are you repelling it? And do
Right.
you actually know that you're repelling it by your thoughts and your beliefs?
It's
It is such
how you're
powerful.
treating it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's such powerful work. And you don't, I don't know how to express it. It's the most exciting thing.
Yeah.
And I'm a traditional financial planner and
Yeah.
strategist.
Right.
But I mean, this is really true that
Yeah.
it's just like how you believe and how your thoughts about money really impact your end result of your bank account.
Yes.
Period.
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 Yeah.
It's simple. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah. And that's where we do, and the work with you, the work as far as you take those onion layers away
Right.
and you realize the thoughts that you had, the beliefs that you have are no longer serving you
Right.
and your future self. And that's where doing that work on the future self of like, hey, I want to make 300,000, I want to make 500, I just even want to just make 80 or 100.
Right.
What would your future self believe about that? Believe about money. And then you work backwards strategically to achieve those step-by-step processes.
Amen.
That's the work that we do.
All the while upgrading your
Yes.
identity as a human, soulful, powerful being.
Yes. Yes.
It's capable. I'll never forget this one clarity call. So many of them come flooding to me when I think about a particular topic. And this woman was a manager of an accounts receivable department. And ladies, I'm not going to disclose the investment in my workshop because it does change all the time. And if you invested in yourself 4 years ago, it was a lot less than it is now. And if you invest now, it's going to be a lot less than it is going to be going forward. I'll just say that.
Right.
And she said, I can't afford that. I can't make decisions like that. I said, let me get this right. You're responsible for millions of dollars of someone else's money, collecting on it, managing it, having conversations with people who aren't paying your owners.
Yep.
And you can't make this decision for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not tracking with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because either you're shitty at that,
right,
or you're not shitty at that, you're awesome. And your belief system about their money is more powerful than your belief system about your money.
Yep. Yep.
And
100%.
she went, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I know. I have this gift of calling you out on stuff. That actually is going to make you more powerful in the world.
Yes.
I'm going to call you out on the stuff that's crudding you up.
Yep.
And women who have said, well, I just can't, I can't go into debt. You already are in debt.
Right.
You are in debt. No, I just climbed out of credit card debt. You're in debt thinking.
Yes. Thank you.
Having a credit card with a balance is not debt.
Yep.
You're managing money.
Right.
I owe this money to the bank and I have this money over here for this, and this money's coming in for this, and that you are managing money. And you know what? I don't know Dave Ramsey's program off the top of my head.
Right.
I hope he teaches people on how to be powerful about managing whatever they've got going on. But so many people I talk to say, well, I'm not supposed to go into credit card debt. I'm like, supposed to? Who's saying supposed to? Well, I did Dave Ramsey's program. And I said, if you fear managing a credit card balance, you got a problem.
Right.
There's no human being who needs to be powerful.
Right.
Fearing not being able to manage a little banknote. You've got a credit card. You've got car payment, maybe house rent or whatever. Are you not trusting yourself to pay those bills?
Right. Exactly. And I will say, I love Dave Ramsey's program for the fact that it just teaches that basic 101. But here's where most of my clients that have come to me have actually done Dave Ramsey's program. And the number one thing that I actually see is they have this belief system about debt. That debt is bad, that debt is an evil thing. And it's not. Debt is actually, you can use it to your advantage.
It's a wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing. Just use it and be open to what it can bring to you.
Right.
So for example, with your client, so here's the thing. I actually, for all of my coaching, what has been the best, and I've been in the industry a long time, financially wise, It has been the best investment I've ever done. And because there's no price tag on the fact that I can actually get my own, shit taken care of and
Yep.
out of my own way so I can go and produce more and actually serve
Yeah,
people on a higher
right.
level. And actually make more money as a result because my brain has shifted.
Yes,
I view debt as a tool.
totally.
There's, again, 100% neutral. There is nothing wrong or good about debt.
Right,
It is a tool.
right.
And when you realize how to use it effectively to take you to your future self,
Amen.
that is where it needs to be used.
Totally, totally. Versus, oh, I need 7 more shirts and 3 more shoes.
Yeah.
That's not gonna move you in a
Yeah.
forward direction, although if that's what you need for your interviews and to show up properly, etc.
Yes.
Yes, it is. So we put the meaning on it, don't we, Robin?
That's right. That's
We
right.
decide the meaning. And I don't know if this was true for you. It certainly is true for what I had to do to build my business. I had lots of money in the bank. I had to
Yes.
use that. And I also had to use all of the good credit that all the banks that have
Yes.
loved me, not really loved me, but they have a score, okay?
Right.
That
Right.
says, "Hey, she's a good credit risk. Here's a bunch of credit cards. I had so much credit available to me when I started this, thank goodness,
Mhm.
because I needed a little bit here, a little bit there, and you know what? I got to use a lot of it on a monthly basis
Yep.
because I got bills that are coming at me all the time.
Right.
So what
Right.
am I supposed to do? I got to use a credit card.
Right.
And then you get miles. I mean, we could probably,
Yeah.
and we may do a financial seminar together, of course,
Yeah, I
Robin.
think we should. I mean, I
I
think
agree.
there's so much
So
more to
much,
this.
so much.
Yeah.
So where we got off on this beautiful conversation was basically investing in yourself has
Yep.
always been a positive return on investment. And thank you, Dorothy. My soul circulates the energy of money with the universe. Thanks to this program. Thank you, Coach Mo. And Robin, I don't know if you can see her picture on the comment
Yes.
here.
Hey, Dorothy.
This beautiful woman is 20 years younger in how she represents energy
Yes.
wise, face, uh, attitude. Dorothy, shout out to you. And so is this lovely Sydney who was here with us earlier. Um, Ladies,
Beautiful.
here's the beauty of risk. Take it
Yeah.
to the bank
Yeah.
because your universal co-partner loves you and wants your success more than you could ever imagine. All you have to do is take one step forward into believing that that's true.
Yeah.
And then you'll go, oh, that felt good. Okay.
Mhm.
What else do I need to learn to take the next step? Oh,
Yeah.
that felt good.
Right.
Okay. Wow. I am valuable. Wow.
Mhm.
This
Yes.
is wonder. What? It's like you all of a sudden appear into the museum of your beautiful, awesome self going,
Mhm.
oh, this is me. This is
Yep.
how awesome my life and my universal co-creator has been all my life. And it will always move you forward if you listen.
Mhm.
But if you listen to the pushbacks, you'll be pushed back forever.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of being on a spiritual journey. Robin Hanover, your current consulting company, your current financial management arrangements, and I know you've got a beautiful setup to help serve
Yep.
your clients. It is all a reflection of the fact that you honor yourself and your
Yep.
soul. How does it feel today to have the life that eluded you, that was being kept away by scarcity?
Well, it's funny because, a lot of times and being a planner and looking at the numbers and looking at all that, I've gone back, I'm like, okay, we could have gotten here because, sooner, but everything is not in our time. It is not, the universe has a very specific time that we are supposed to really show up and start serving. We just have to be open to that, and like I said, get our ourselves out of our own way. But I think now is the time that I can actually go back and start serving
Mhm.
more people,
Yeah.
because it's not about me, it's about I'm being equipped to be able to help others, because there's a lot of things to be doing right now, and there is a shift, there is a
Massive.
total movement that's starting to happen in the financial industry, and for people who are trying to take back their power
Yeah.
within their own money mindset. It's so true. It's
There
so
is
true.
there's a groundswell. First of all, as you know, there's a groundswell of wealth creation right now.
Yes.
It is exponential to any other time in human history, the amount of wealth that is created in a day by an
Yes.
idea, by carrying out an idea. And the opportunity to move forward into your own personal domain of a life and craft it for yourself has never been better. Never.
Mhm.
It's so
Yeah.
funny. On one of my calls last week, one of my coaching calls last week, I had an extrovert who wanted to stay working from home and an introvert who couldn't wait to get back to the office.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so we were basically talking about that, and how human beings crave connection, crave
Mhm.
significance, crave contribution,
Yes.
crave prosperity and abundance, but many of us have so many piles of dirt on us
Mhm.
that we can't get to those beautiful, desirous, energetic aspects of ourselves. And that is why I'm so delighted to talk to you.
I mean, we could go on for
I
hours.
know.
We're
We
just barely touching the surface,
I know. I know.
but one of the things I'd like to leave with your listeners is that kind of a tool to ask yourself when you're making any financial decision. Ask yourself and be really in tune with the physical sensations that you're having, and ask
Mm,
yourself the question, am I in fear right now thinking about this decision, or do I feel like I have abundance and I know that this will be okay? And
mhm.
if fear is coming up for you a lot, that's where you need to take it and start getting some coaching on it, to
Yeah.
really dive deeper into what is that underlying fear that is preventing you from moving forward, from getting to your future self. Because usually those two things, am I in love or am I in fear?
Right.
And it applies to every money decision that you can make.
Oh, amen. Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. And being able to access the self-love, the self-worth, and
Yes.
knowing that the universal energy is
Yep.
with you
Yep.
to help create more based on that powerful decision, because the universe is always with us when we make decisions.
Yep.
Nope. Okay, the universe is going to come and nope on you.
Yep.
Okay. I just made up that term. Um, you just so brilliantly helped paint the landscape, Robin, for a powerful woman who was caught in a whole lifetime of the
Yep.
web of how women are caught up into their smallness. You believed in it long enough for you to finally break free from it and make a powerful
Mhm.
decision for yourself. Now you've created the
Mhm.
life that you've always dreamt. It was actually probably beyond what you've dreamt for.
It
But
has been.
you were finally ready to be the
Yep.
version of Robin Hanover you needed to be to claim that.
Yes.
And that's the beautiful thing that I think I want to leave everyone with, your wonderful story and your message. And thank you again for your generosity of
No,
sharing
thank
your
you.
journey. When you claim your worth, ladies and gentlemen, the universe conspires to help
Yep.
you. When you don't claim your worth, the universe is conspiring to get your freaking attention.
Mhm.
So pay attention and step into the
Yep.
yes, I can, yes, I will zone, because then you begin being the creator with the universal componentry.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to keep wanting to bang you up on the head until you
Yeah.
pay attention, because that's what it does.
Yep.
And I'm
And yeah.
delighted
Yeah.
that you listened to your inner beckoning.
Yep. And I didn't worry about the how. I just
Right.
knew I needed to be there,
Yeah.
and needed to be out there. And the how can trip you up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know this, or I don't know how to do this. When you let that go and you just be, then
Yeah.
that's when it starts to unfold.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's also, and I've had a coach for 21 years now. I hired my first coach in the year 2000. That's why hiring an expert works, because they
Yes.
got some of the how pieces and they'll click, click, click
Yep.
this, and okay, come back next week. Okay, this, now that,
Yep.
and they will guide. And
Yep.
look, I'm a great coach. There are certain clients we can massively, massively help. And that's why we have the magic of the complimentary career clarity call. mofall.com/live clarity gets you started. It was Robin's turn toward her brilliance. And Robin, this has been so much fun. Great conversation.
Loved
You're
it.
an awesome, awesome, soulful woman.
Thank
We will
you.
definitely have more conversations, and just keep on rocking who you are. And boy, your clients are so lucky and blessed, and to have your talents and your skills, and that you're shining up and showing up for them. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all your work as well. Appreciate it.
You got
it.
All right, folks, if you want to know more, it's mofall.com/live clarity books that special call that gets the whole thing started. And you can follow me, see me, watch my stuff anywhere, mofall.com, or anywhere on social media, Coach Mo. We got you covered. See you later, Robin. Thanks again for joining me.
Thanks so much.